Everybody, this is Dream, and today we have a 12-game Major League Baseball slate. This slate is pretty deep. We have a lot of good plays. With that said, let's go ahead and get into this slate. Before I get started, though, can you guys smash that like and subscribe button? Also, drop a home run call below. It really helps the channel a lot. Make sure to share the video as well. Let's go ahead and get into this one. This is a big one, so we're going to start with our pitchers. Actually, let's start with our core plays here. I have Mitch Garver, Freddie Freeman, and Ezequiel Duran as our cores. So let's get into our pitchers, though, here. We're going to start with our two top options are Kevin Gausman and Keller for Pittsburgh. These two guys both have really good upside in these matchups, and obviously they're also pretty expensive. Gilbert and Brown are a little bit riskier, but they definitely have P1 potential today, though they have tougher matchups and don't have quite the ceilings as the top two guys. As for P2 options, Musgrave, Paxton, and Elder are the top three options, in that order, basically, with Musgrave having probably the best matchup of the three when it comes to upside and stuff like that. And then we have Peralta and Smith are both in kind of Hail Mary contrarian options here for the P2 option. We also have two punt plays in Goelito and Libator, as they both have some interesting potential here, but they also have high risk, extreme risk for that matter, against really tough matchups. And then I have three guys that have decent upside, but if they can get some strikeouts, but they typically don't get strikeouts, Dunning, Gonsolin, and Wesinski, and they probably won't give up too many earned runs, and so that gives them some low-hanging upside on this particular slate. But let's go ahead and get into our other plays now. We're going to start with our catchers here, and obviously Will Smith is a good option today, though he is very expensive here, as he draws a good matchup here in the Cincinnati Reds ballpark, which gives him some upside. He has home run potential, obviously, as well, and he's hitting the ball really solidly. Moving into the next guy, Sean Murphy, he also has nice upside and is a little bit cheaper than Smith, and he draws really good metrics for this matchup here for Atlanta against Carrasco. I also like Blake Sabal here for San Francisco, though this game is in Colorado, so that gives him some upside as well. He has some run potential here. He's hitting the ball decently well as of late, too. And then Mitch Garver, who is a core play, he draws really good metrics here. He's only started a handful of games, but he's already hitting the ball pretty well. He's got home run potential, and I like his upside here, though he does tend to strike out some as well, so do keep that in mind. But he's a really good option. You can also consider Adley Rutschman, Elias Diaz, Francisco Alvarez, Yan Gomez, and Jonah Heim at this position. There are a lot of good options here as catcher, but don't overthink it. There's plenty of home run potential here, and so just go with your gut, or maybe even this the team that you're going to stack for the particular lineup to really set which pitcher you want to utilize. Maybe in the first base, we're going to start with Ohtani. Now, he can play first or outfield. He draws really good metrics for this game. This is high risk, high reward, though, as he is super expensive, and, he definitely has potential to not do anything in this game. Freddie Freeman draws great metrics for this matchup. He's also cheaper than Ohtani. He hasn't hit the crazy amount of home runs that we expected by this point in the season, but he's still hitting good, and he has good home run potential, especially in Gary American Ballpark, where the matchup metrics are off the charts. Wade Jr. for San Francisco draws really good metrics for this game. He has home run potential. He also gets on base decently well lately. He's gotten a lot of doubles and stuff too, but and this is a great matchup for him. And he's pretty fairly priced, and I like his upside. And then if you want to go even a little bit cheaper, we can go with Menendez for Washington. Now, Washington does have some risk here, but he has hit the ball well, despite not hitting a whole lot of home runs. In fact, he's only got 2 on the season, which is pretty crazy, considering his potential. He has great metrics for this matchup, and he draws really good upside here. You could also consider Vlade Jr., Brandon Belt, Matt Olson, Nate Lowe, Trey Mancini, and Jared Walsh. This position is really deep, but not as deep as usual, but is very home run friendly and heavy with potential for a lot of guys with home run upside. You don't really know to go too deep at the position when it comes to just, contrarian options, to find a lot of home run potential. So it's really good. Don't try to overthink this position. That's what I'm trying to say. Maybe in the second base, we have some interesting options here. Mookie Betts draws some really good metrics here, and he obviously It is super expensive, but has home run potential here. He is higher risk. He is the type of guy that can get you 0 points or also throw 2 home runs at you, which he's done quite a bit lately, actually. And so I like his upside here, though he is expensive and hard to roster. Thairo Estrada is also in play. Let's see. If he draws the start today, which I'm not certain that he'll draw, but it looks like he will. If he does, though, he's got good metrics for this matchup and has great potential. Marcus Semien has metrics that are just too good today to avoid and ignore. He has home run potential in this one, and he's got really good upside. If you go with the Texas stack, he's definitely somebody that you should roster. For some value plays at this position, Drury looks like a really good option for the Angels as he has good metrics here. He's hitting the ball decently well, especially lately, and has home run potential in this one. And then Bay for Pittsburgh draws some interesting metrics here. Has hit the ball really well lately and scored some fancy points. Also has stolen base potential, and he has some really good upside as very cheap. Also consider Emmanuel Valdez and Miguel Vargas here. This position is really top heavy though there are a few value plays that have low risk of being terrible. That's Drury, Bay, and Vargas. But they don't have the highest of upsides, though I think Bay probably has the best of those guys. Moving into third base, we're going to start with Max Muncy here, who draws some really good metrics for this matchup, though he is very expensive and he is a boomer bust play as his batting average is weak, but he has lots of home runs this season and he definitely has the potential here to draw another one. He is definitely a good option on this slate, especially if you stack the Dodgers. JD Davis for San Francisco also has nice metrics here, though he is overpriced for this potential here. So he is somewhat hard to roster as a result, but he definitely has good metrics for this matchup. Then we'll look at Patrick Wisdom, who's probably one of my favorite options at this position just because he's cheap and has home run potential, though he is boomer bust as he has been very streaky lately, so he's high risk, high reward, but he is cheap. Then we'll look at, you could also consider Josh Jung, Austin Riley, Gunnar Henderson, and Ryan McMahon. This position is very limited. There's only a few solid plays, and it's not very deep when it comes to value plays. So you're going to have to probably pay up some, but there's high risk, high reward with all of them. So then we'll go ahead and move into our shortstops. We'll look at Dansby Swanson here for the Cubs. Now, he's not a must-play by any stretch. He has hit the ball decently well, though, and he has good metrics here, but he's very pricey. And really, the overpriced guys here at this position make them hard to roster, as Corey Seager is also in the same position. He doesn't have huge home run potential, but he does have great hitting potential, as he's absolutely hitting the ball really well. So I like his upside in a Texas stack, but he's very hard to roster with his price. Marcano for Pittsburgh is in play today. He draws some interesting metrics here as a very cheap option. He's hit the ball decently well throughout the season. He's not the most home run friendly guy, but he does have stolen base potential, and he is getting a base when he draws a start, so I do like his potential here. And then Duran for Texas is a core play for me today, as he's hitting the ball extremely well lately. He has home run potential in this one, and he has great metrics for this situation. Probably my favorite play at this position. You could also consider Bo Bichette, Matt McLean, and overall this position is better than normal. Usually shortstop is pretty rough, but it is actually pretty sneaky today, especially with good value plays, and so I like the upside here. Maybe the outfield, we have 5 top-tier plays. Mookie Betts, obviously a great option for the Dodgers here, can also play outfield and second base. Ohtani, who can also play first base, has great metrics for this one. Acuna Jr. might be one of the top players on the slate, but he's extremely expensive. Corbin Carroll is also in play. He hasn't hit the ball badly at all lately. He's got really good metrics for this matchup. And JD Martinez also in play here for the Dodgers. He is absolutely just killing the ball lately. Has really nice metrics here and has great upside. As for value plays here, we'll look at Jock Peterson for San Francisco. Now, he should come in and draw the start today. They're going to be activating a couple guys for the lineup, and this matchup is definitely good for him to get going again and has some run potential as a result. Jack Sawinski has had some up and down throughout the season. but he definitely draws some great metrics here. He is boomer bust, but he has home run potential, and he is still scoring some fantasy points. But obviously, if he can get a 1 or 2 home run game, that would definitely be nice here. Then we'll look at Mike Yastrzemski for San Francisco, also expected to come back today, but we'll have to wait and see for certain. But if he does, he'll have some nice utility here, as a contrarian option. Then James Outman, who has been very boomer bust this season, and when I say boomer bust, my goodness, he's been bad lately. But he definitely draws a good matchup here and good metrics for this game if he draws a start. Suzuki for Chicago Cubs is also in play. He's hit the ball pretty well this season, but he's been a little bit slumpy lately. But he definitely draws good metrics here. Lane Thomas is a little bit. He's probably going to be flying under the radar today, but he does have good metrics for this matchup, and I like his potential for a home run. Pavin Smith is kind of a Hail Mary option here for Arizona, but he's hit the ball decently well recently with home run potential, and I like his upside, though I think he's a little bit overpriced. Blake Sabal is also available here at this position as well, and has a great matchup for the Giants catcher or outfield. You could also consider Juan Soto, Mike Trout, Tatis Jr., Brian Reynolds, Jake Fraley, Michael Harris, and Glencario Stanton. So with that said, guys, thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to leave them below, and have a nice day, guys.